unconventional Friday doubleheader can it cross the swamp of low ratings? JTBC has attempted a quite adventurous programming strategy by launching the new Friday drama Love Me. Airing 2 episodes back-to-back on Friday nights is, in fact, a very unusual and unconventional decision in the domestic broadcasting environment. Usually targeting weekend nights or weekday 10 p.m. slots is the norm, so this binge-watch style scheduling seems to be conscious of OTT viewing patterns. Yet it is also a risky gamble regarding TV viewership ratings. The fact that JTBC pushed ahead with this persistency, despite previous works not having much fun in this time slot, suggests a confidence underlying this specific work. For viewers, it is welcoming news to be able to breathe with a new drama for a long stretch to start the weekend. Attention is focused on whether this unconventional strategy will shine through Love Me. Trusted actor Seo Hyun-jin returns with heart-wrenching emotion. The biggest power that makes one choose Love Me is undoubtedly the lead actor, Seo Hyun-jin. Although the modifier Queen of Rom-Com is familiar, she is an actor with the amazing power to persuade viewers by becoming the character itself, regardless of the genre in every work. In this drama, she dominates the screen from the beginning with her unique, precise diction and delicate emotional acting. Rather than a simply bright and cheerful character, she densely portrays the inner side of a woman in her 30s who is suppressing the weight of life and complex feelings about her family. In the early part of the drama, Seo Hyun-jin's acting, which changes the flow of air and makes viewers' hearts ache with just her facial expressions without many lines, proves once again why she is a trustworthy actor. Her appearance heralds that this drama is by no means a light story. The reality of a 36-year-old old maid hidden behind brilliant specs. In the drama, Seo Jun-kyung, played by Seo Hyun-jin, is an OBGYN specialist. The profession of a doctor is socially envied and would likely be considered a top-tier bride material in the marriage market. However, the drama begins by shining a light on the harsh reality. The age of 36 covers up all her achievements and causes her to be devalued with the label of old maid in the blind date market. The date openly ignores her by mentioning her age rather than her career and shows a rude attitude as if picking out goods. This satirizes the bitter cross-section of our society that makes even capable women feel small in front of the yardstick of age. However, Seo Jun-kyung does not put up with it. The scene where she delivers a refreshing blow to the opponent who insults her with sexual nuances and storms out of the seat shows the character's bold personality and provides a strange catharsis, a creaking family dissonance. Gathered on an anniversary, Seo Jun-kyung's family members look ordinary on the outside, but looking inside, they are festering with their own wounds. The father, Seo Jin-ho, played by Yoo Jae-myung, who retired after serving as a community center head, has dedicated his life to his family and tries to take care of his wife with utmost sincerity, who has difficulty moving due to a traffic accident. And for the parents' wedding anniversary, the whole family, including Jun-kyung and her brother Seo Jun-seo, played by Lee Si-woo, gathers in one place. However, the place that should be celebratory flows with an uncomfortable and awkward atmosphere. Jun-kyung, visiting home for the first time in 6 months, finds it difficult even to make eye contact with her mother, and conversations keep going in circles. The meal where barbed words are exchanged towards each other, despite being family who should be closest, clearly shows the lack of communication and old conflicts this family holds. Irreversible words and a sudden farewell. That night, trouble eventually breaks out. After an emotional confrontation with her mother, Jun-kyung pours out harsh words, ruins the anniversary, and runs out of the house, without dreaming that it would be her last moment with her mother. The drama dryly depicts the tragedy that comes without warning. Shortly after Jun-kyung leaves the house, her mother passes away from a chronic illness. Death came without giving time to reconcile or a chance to say sorry. The mother's sudden absence brings indelible shock and regret to the remaining family. In particular, the fact that she left after hurting her mother in the last moment becomes a nail driven into Jun-kyung's heart for the rest of her life. It is a passage that makes one feel keenly how futile the words "I should treat her better later" are. Direction stripped of glamour, immersion, provided by realistic tones. The visual beauty of Love Me is far from the flawless and bright filters popular these days. The direction, which refrains from lighting as much as possible and seems to save natural light or dark indoor tones as they are, gives a sense of reality as if watching a documentary. This dry and calm tone and manner matches exquisitely with the gloomy situation faced by Jun Kyung and her family. It seems that the production team intentionally excluded glamour to express not decorated sadness, but realistic pain and loss that touches the skin. Thanks to this, the actors' minute facial changes or trembling breaths are highlighted more, and viewers become deeply immersed in the characters' emotional lines. The scenery of the house covered in darkness and the empty living room seems to represent the pain of loss in itself. The source of guilt, the high wall. Between mother and daughter. The reason Jun Kyung found her mother so difficult and avoided her was not simply a difference in personality. In the past, her mother had a traffic accident while coming to bring an item Jun Kyung left at the hospital, and due to that accident, she suffered from after effects for the rest of her life. Jun Kyung has lived with deep guilt that her mother's misfortune was her fault. However, her mother did not show a will to actively rehabilitate or improve her life after the accident. And seeing such a mother, Jun Kyung must have felt frustration and the pain of constantly being reminded of her own error. The reason she didn't go home often and stayed distant from her mother wasn't because she hated her, but perhaps because it was hard to face the self-loathing and guilt that rushed in every time she saw her. This is the point where the complex feelings of a daughter who hurt more because she loved and couldn't approach because she was sorry are understood. The grief of those left behind, different ways of mourning. The death of a mother and wife instantly makes the fence called family empty. The sense of loss of the father, Seo Jin-ho, who had even booked travel tickets dreaming of the second act of life with his wife, is unspeakable. His back looking at the ticket for the trip he couldn't go on is incredibly pathetic. The drama shows how family members endure sadness in their own ways. Someone wails, someone is silent, and someone tries to live their daily life pretending to be calm. Although the methods and temperatures of expression may be different, the size of the heart that missed and loved the deceased would not be different. The process of the family embracing each other's wounds and restoring relationships in this process seems to be a major viewing point for the future. Appearance of new ties, colors. Seeping into colorless daily life. Light begins to enter Jun Kyung's daily life, which was like a dark tunnel, little by little. The appearance of Ju Do-hyun, played by Jang Ryul, whom she met by chance in the neighborhood, is exactly that. Actor Jang Ryul has mainly played intense and bloody villains or strong characters in works like My Name and Bargain, but in this work he has transformed 180 degrees into a pure and plain man with all his strength relaxed. Do-hyun's appearance, approaching carefully but sincerely towards Jun Kyung, who tries to push away love for fear of getting hurt, brings excitement to viewers. The romance between the two, which is not stimulating but seeps in softly, ventilates the heavy atmosphere of the play and is expected to show another form of love that heals the pain of loss. Remake of Swedish original, offering warm comfort. The drama Love Me is based on the Swedish drama of the same name, and it is a verified work that was also remade in Australia and gained great popularity. It adds Korean sentiment and family love to the solid storyline of the original work to tell a story that is familiar yet new to us. Not only the story of Jun Kyung and Do-hyun, but also the father Jin-ho, who will be entangled with the tour guide Jin Jae-young, played by Yoon Se-ah, and the younger brother Jun Seo, who will form a tie with the publishing editor and novelist Ji Hyeon, played by Da-hyun. Three men and women, or rather the love stories of three families, are scheduled to unfold colorfully. A story that began with someone's absence, but eventually a process where the people left behind love and embrace each other to gain the strength to live again. I hope this warm comfort will melt the hearts of viewers this winter.